Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Startup Garage, your source for all things startup. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Shelley Savage on the line, and she's founder and CEO over at CardioThrive. Shelley, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Great to be on your show.
All right, so excited to get into your product today and into your company. So let's just dive right in. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at CardioThrive, please.
Okay. We're really excited about this. What we're doing is we're developing a pocket-sized, fully automatic defibrillator. Now, I know that everybody's seen defibrillators hanging on the walls in airports and out in public places, and those are great to have out there, right? But those are only saving about 1% of the victims of sudden cardiac arrest. And the reason for that is they're just too complicated to use. And if you're not trained to use those devices, you're just not going to use them. It's human nature to kind of stand back and wait for somebody else to step up and do it. So if you peel away the layers of those statistics, you'll see that when those units are actually used, most of the time, and when I say most of the time, it's nearly 100% of the time, the people that are actually using those devices to save a life are medically trained. They're usually off-duty physicians, nurses, or EMTs. So they're not really geared towards the layperson to use them, yet they're out in public places for people to use. So, necessity is the mother of invention, and so we've recognized this. And so what we have made is a pretty much a single-use pocket-sized defibrillator that's small, portable enough to take anywhere, and it requires no assembly at all. So it takes away that fear factor of using something to save someone's life in a really high-stress situation. So that's what we're developing. That's what we're working on, and it's very exciting.
Wow, that's what an amazing concept, and that 1% stat is startling. But now that you said that, as you were talking, I was going through my head, and I'm like, so when I was in college, I was an armored car carrier, so that's how I put myself through college, working, moving money is what I like to say. But that being said, I remember we had a training on that, and on using a defibrillator as a worker, and that was, that must be, I don't know well over a decade ago now. And if I were to see one or try to pull one off of a wall, I wouldn't know what to do. And you add the tension of a situation also, like I just wouldn't know what to do. So that 1% thing is it's kind of startling.
It's very startling, and it's something that doesn't need to happen. It really doesn't. There's no reason why these things need to be that complicated. And so basically you kind of go back in time, and it's almost like the manufacturers of these devices have kind of stopped innovating 25 years ago. I mean, they all basically kind of work the same, but nobody has really simplified it. I mean, it's as simple as it's going to get. A lot of them have voice prompts, and they'll tell you, stand back or, push the button, on the semi-automatic ones. But ours is fully automatic. You literally, to use it, all you have to do is, and this is my tagline, slap it on the chest and it does the rest. It's that simple. It actually takes 4 times longer to apply a Band-Aid than it takes to use our defibrillator. So we're hoping to save thousands of lives with this thing.
Slap it on the chest and it does the rest. I can't, Shelley. That's so good. So that being said, so where are you at with the product right now? Are you looking for partners? I mean, tell us a little bit more about where the product's at in development, please.
Yeah, we are. We've already completed clinical trials at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. We've got all of our intellectual property as well secured. We have 46 patents issued globally, filed in 16 countries, and we have another 70-some odd patents still pending out there. So we're ready to take our next steps in development of this device. We've already proven that it works. We've already discovered some other very exciting things using a multiphasic waveform, which, AEDs use a standard biphasic waveform. Again, it's kind of been the golden rule, and it's been used for several years. And now we have a new thing, which actually would enable us to be able to deliver a therapeutic shock at a fraction of the energy. So that again is new innovation that's not been incorporated in AEDs before. But what we're ready to do is develop this and get regulatory approval so that we can bring it to market. So we're looking for partners to help us do that. And anybody who is interested in exploring this further, you can go to our website, which is www.CardioThrive.com. There is a contact us button on there that you can click, or you can just email us at info@CardioThrive.com, and one of us will get back to you right away with more details.
That's awesome. And so you're obviously looking for strategic partners there. Are you also looking for investors? So what can you tell us about if you're doing any raises or anything like that, whatever you can share?
To date, we've raised $3.2 million. And with that, like I said, we've gotten through our proof of concept testing. We've done our clinical trials. We've done all the intellectual property filing. And so we've got that base foundation there set. So yeah, we're looking for people to help us get to those next stages. And so again, I'm happy to distribute that information to anybody who's interested in doing that. And just reach out to us and I can get that information to you.
Fantastic. And Shelley, what was let's leave that. I know the first time around somebody leaves the website, somebody didn't have time to get their pen yet. So again, Shelley, if somebody's interested in following up or want to learn more, what's the website and what's the best way for them to connect?
Okay. The website is www.CardioThrive.com, and that's CardioThrive. And that's a website. It'll give you a little overview of the device. It will show you the device. You kind of get a picture of what it looks like. It's actually about the size of 2 iPhones put together, maybe a little thicker than that, but it's about that size. So it fits in your pocket. So it's a really neat little device. And again, there's a button on there that you can hit for contact us, or you can just email us directly at info@CardioThrive.com.
All right. So final question. I'm just curious, what's the size of the market out there for defibrillators? Like how many of these things are there out there? I've never even considered that. I mean, just roughly, what does the size of that market even look like?
Well, it's broken up. I mean, on a global scale, there's a lot of different end user markets. Okay. There's obviously the professional market, which would be hospitals and clinics and that kind of thing. We're primarily, this is so easy to use that we can actually go consumer direct with this thing. And it should be because about 1,000 people a day are dying of sudden cardiac arrest. And these are people out of the hospital. These are people just out doing ordinary things every day. And sudden cardiac arrest kind of sideswipes you. There are no symptoms and there's no warning. You know, with a heart attack, you would have some symptoms. You would have some chest pain and, jaw pain, arm pain. There's all kinds of things that would be an indicator that something's wrong. And you have time to get help. You have time to get to the hospital. With sudden cardiac arrest, you don't have any warning. I mean, it happens so fast that your heart is in a state of rapid quivering. So much so it stops pumping blood. Well, what happens when you stop pumping blood? Well, your brain stops working, your organs stop working, your lungs you stop breathing, you collapse and fall on the floor. So it happens really quick, and you literally only have about 3 or 4 minutes, ideally, to be revived. And the only way to be revived is to receive a therapeutic shock with a defibrillator. So the market is big just for the out-of-hospital crowd. That's 1,000 people a day who die out of hospital of sudden cardiac arrest. So that end-user target market for us, with this being so easy to use, would be a public access market, like the AEDs hanging on the wall in the airports, for instance. A lot easier to use. We would want to get these out there. Having them in your home. I mean, think about it. There's about 3,500 house fires that, people die in house fires every year in the United States alone. But 360,000 people die of sudden cardiac arrest out of the hospital in the United States alone. So you have fire extinguishers in their house, why would you not want to have an AED in your house as well? So that's kind of an untapped market. Nobody's really been able to do that. Number one, because it's been kind of cost prohibitive for people. These units, you can go to Costco and you can buy one for about $1,300. And then after you use it, you have other costs associated with it because the electrode pads that come with it have to be replaced. Those are single use. The battery you kind of have to replace periodically. So there's some maintenance involved with that. So people generally don't go buy these to keep them in their home. So that's another problem that we're kind of addressing with this pocket defib, in that we will be leasing them to people for a flat fee, and we'll take care of all the maintenance. So basically it'll be a single-use device where if they open it and they, again, slap it on the chest and it does the rest and it saves a life, send it back to us and then we'll send you a new one fresh and ready to go, and then we'll refurbish these and put them back in circulation. So it's a neat concept all the way around. And again, getting back to the market, the AED market is up just under $1 billion right now, but that's kind of poised to grow, and we're estimating that that's going to hit a little over $3 billion in about 10 years. So that's just kind of consumer direct market. If you add the hospitals into it, then it's much bigger than that. It's closer to $7 billion. So a lot of exciting stuff. It is a huge market, and like I said, there's a lot of AEDs out there, a lot of AED manufacturers, but they kind of stopped innovating, in several years. There really haven't been any leaps and bounds. So in the world of defibrillators, our AED is kind of like, I liken it to a cell phone. It's kind of like going from, remember those old brick phones that we used to have a long time ago, back in the, I'm dating myself, early 90s. Well, this would be going from a brick phone to a smartphone. It's that big of a leap in as far as AEDs go. So we're really excited about it, and just really, really ready to move it forward and get it out there so the public can use it and millions of lives can be saved.
Oh man, that is super exciting. Well, Shelley, and I get it completely, and that's the thing. It's now going to be something that's accessible to everybody. So it'd be just like having a fire extinguisher. I love that example, in your home, or a fire alarm for that matter. Who wouldn't want to have one of those? So I really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about what you're doing over at CardioThrive. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Startup Garage, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. I mean, love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Shelley, thanks again for coming on the show.